I think this is a great question. I would say yes. My life has surprised me as far as what I thought I'd be doing when I was younger as a child. Like, I never thought, I don't know what I thought I would be doing, but it wasn't this. And I'm happy that I'm doing this. Like, it's not that I'm not happy with the way things have gone. I say probably the biggest thing is homeschooling my daughter was something that I never really anticipated on doing, but I'm really glad that I do. And in a way, a little bit regretful that I didn't do it earlier. I just think there's such a stigma around it. So that's definitely something that I never saw myself doing. I mean, I love the teaching aspect, and I could see myself doing that, but as far as the homeschool, like, that just wasn't something I had ever anticipated on doing. But watching the news every day, well, not every day, but just, watching the news from time to time, I'm really happy that I am at this point in our history, because I don't think it would be a good place for her to be at school. I'd say the other big thing that I think I'm pretty surprised about is where I live. I floated around throughout the country, and I always felt like a place was home for the time being, but it just never felt home, if that makes any sense. It felt like a place that I was, and I made it as homey as possible, but it just never felt like the place for me. Even the town I just moved from, it felt the same way. But the town that I currently live in is felt like home. I've lived here before, but it's always felt like home. Interestingly enough, my grandpa was an orphan, and his orphanage was in the town that I currently live in. So that's kind of odd, because none of my family is from this area. Well, actually, I assume I have family in this area because he had some siblings, and his mother actually lived here. And she came to this country from Sweden, and she wasn't married, I guess the story goes. I don't know. I've never actually met this woman. Oh, I'm assuming she's dead, but I've never met anybody in the family, so this is just all passed down. But she had 3 boys, and she was to get married to some man, and he said, "I'll marry you, but not with those kids." So she dropped them off at an orphanage, all 3 of them. And so she went on to have more children, and she lived in this area. So I'm assuming that maybe some of these people are my relatives. And interestingly enough, we were in a restaurant over the summer, and my daughter looked at somebody, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that looks like my sister." I'm like, well, it could be a relative of ours. Who knows? Like, so I guess that's the biggest thing that's a little bit surprising, is where I actually live, because like I said, I no family from here, but it feels like home. But the place that I originated from doesn't really feel like home. It feels familiar, but not home.